And I can certainly show you a very, very quick demo of Whisper running if you'd like to see that.
Yeah, let's take a look.
So what we're looking at here is Norsk Studio. Norsk Studio takes it up yet another layer to the point where you essentially are writing no code at all, and it's very drag and drop. So what I'm going to build here is a really, really quick Whisper demo. I'm going to drag in an RTMP input. I'm going to say that we're called Norsk, and that's going to sit there. I'm then going to drag in a Whisper transcriber node, and I'm just going to tell it that the language is English, and I already have a model /bin. And then I'm going to add on a CMAF output. Now that on its own really wouldn't do anything at all because nothing's wired up, but I'm going to wire it up. I'm going to drag the RTMP data into the Whisper, and I'm also going to drag it into the CMAF. And Studio knows what types of data everything needs, so I don't need to tell it anything. And I'm going to drag the output of the Whisper transcribe, which is a bunch of subtitles, and also throw that into the CMAF. That's it. And then I hit play. Studio wakes up, everything comes online, and it says none of these nodes have got any data. So it's highlighting them all in orange, saying there's a potential error situation here. So I'm going to hop over to my console here and just fire in an FFmpeg. So I've got some data coming in. And we can see that RTMP and CMAF lit up straight away. The Whisper transcribe lit up once it had enough for its first segment to start talking to Whisper, and the workflow's running. It's all happy. So if I go pick up this URL here, and go over to Safari here and paste that in. Oh, it's just so sad. So yeah, I go over to Safari, I paste in that URL, and I've got the CMAF playing, and we can see the subs. I'm guessing you guys can't hear the audio, and I'm going to turn it off in my end because it's really annoying. But that's doing a pretty damn good job of the transcription there. I've sat and watched many a live broadcast TV where the subs are nothing like that good.
What's the latency that you're experiencing in an application like that?
So Whisper is configurable. You can get down to within a few seconds of real time quite comfortably. It turns into a trade between latency and quality. The more time the AI transcription services have to respond to your data, the better they can make the quality because they get more context to play with. That's the same for Whisper. It's the same for AWS. It's the same for Azure. It's very much a feature of the AI. The more context it has, the better job it can do. Within a few seconds worth, you're getting really good quality output. So then it falls down into you just tuning for your use case. It depends on what's most important. If you're doing a financial fair disclosure system where potentially latency isn't quite such a sensitive thing, but quality really is pretty critical, you may well choose to go for sort of 10, 15 seconds and give the AI more context to play with. You'll get a better response. If you're in sports and what you want is super low latency, and frankly, if the odd bit of commentating isn't spot on, then sure, tune it down. That'll be fine. The key is here again with Norsk. You get to choose those. You get to choose those values. You can tune that according to your business case. You don't need to worry about the underlying tech. It'll do what it does.
In either case, is Norsk aligning those captions with the spoken word, or is they coming out asynchronously?
They will get lined up. Yes, they will get lined up.
Okay.
So
have you tried it I'm sorry for interrupting. Have you tried it in WebRTC or conferencing applications, or are you looking at mostly ABR type applications?
At present, we haven't plugged this into a WebRTC output. That will be interesting to do. In terms of our subtitling output, so what we just saw there was CMAF, so that was WebVTT running inside an HLS manifest. We will also output 608, 708 inside transport streams, so you can plumb that into things like Media Live if you're running against an AWS output. Haven't tried with WebRTC output yet. That would be an interesting one to try.
Okay, yeah, that's where latency really gets hairy.
Yeah, latency is obviously super sensitive there. You can have flags on Norsk to turn off the synchronization between audio and video, because if you're trying to do real time, then you almost certainly need to just have no delay whatsoever on the AV. Otherwise, you just can't have a conversation.
Right.
And if the subs are 2-3 seconds behind, well, so be it. That's probably better than delaying the audio by 2-3 seconds, because that's going to be unusable.
What's the hardware you're running that on? I know AI doesn't run very effectively on normal computers. Is that some kind of GPU or some kind of ARM-based computer?
So That one I was just running locally is something that people running Norsk in the field can't do, because that was me running on a Mac, and Norsk does run on a Mac, but in its delivered mode, it's running inside a Docker container on a Mac. So on my local Mac, it was hitting my Apple Neural Engine, which is lovely. But if you were deploying in the field, you're obviously going to be running on some sort of server, and the Whisper engine we're running will happily run on top of NVIDIA CUDA GPUs. So you can plug an NVIDIA in, offload that onto the NVIDIA card to keep your CPU free for other things.
Okay.
You can also run big horsepower CPUs if you wish. We've got a server in our lab that's a 256 core Ampere machine. It's a dual 128. You can obviously run a lot of stuff on there. So if you didn't want to go down the hardware AA route, then that's an option too. Norsk will run just fine on that sort of tin. That's not a problem.